Alrighty, welcome back to gggaming. So here it is, brand new 7-star Tera Raid boss in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It is Feraligatr, assuming I'm pronouncing that right. Very, very cool. Actually a fairly easy one. So we're going to go through all the details, as always in this video, show those wonderful showcase videos and all that other good stuff. So let's get to it. Alright, so for our Feraligatr, let's get into the summary, go through this, quickly walk through what he is, how he works, and all that other good stuff. So, Feraligatr is a water type Pokemon by nature, but he's a dark Tera for this Steel type, the 7-star Tera Raid boss. So we want to make sure we focus on things that are super effective against the dark type, which is going to be fighting, bug, and fairy types. And we will have showcases for at least one, or if not a couple, of all of those. So check out the showcases for exactly which Pokemon I think work really, really well, at least in the first, pass at this. But I want to know your ideas, so throw it down in their comments or put it in the comments of one of the showcase videos, what other Pokemon you are using against this guy, because he's actually fairly easy. So, Dark Tera, that's what we're going to run into there. In terms of his moves, he's got Crunch, he's got Liquidation, he's got Psychic Fangs, and he has Ice Punch. All of them a fairly decent move because of their added effects. You got Frozen, you got Breaks Barriers, etc., etc. And the reason I'm saying is etc. because that doesn't matter. He actually has an ability called Sheer Force right there that takes away all of those special effects. I'm not really sure why they chose to do this outside of the fact that it makes those moves stronger, but giving him the Sheer Force ability definitely makes this raid easier because you don't have to worry about the added effects from any of his moves. They're just a little stronger. And you don't get frozen, no attack down, no defense down, none of that stuff. That's awesome. So there you go. That's what we have to worry about. In terms of his stats, he's fairly rounded. He is going to hit everything physical. All 4 of these moves are physical attacks, so he's going to be full physical against you. The defense, though, 202 on the special defense, 236 on the physical defense. Doesn't matter which one you use. I'm pretty sure all of our builds are a physical attack and then maybe one special. Speed at 192, so if you do want to go first in this fight, you'll have to use get above 192, although halfway through the fight he will use Dragon Dance, boosting his speed 1 stat point there. So you'll have to accommodate that. Other than that, let's get over and talk about the actual raid flow from Cerebi. Okay, so here we are with our side-by-side view that we like to use. So, of course, have got our Feraligatr here. He's going to run from November 1st to the 3rd, and then again 8th to the 10th. Obviously, if you don't connect online throughout the week, you can keep him active for the entire time and as long as you want afterwards. But in terms of this raid, how this raid works and kind of what to expect, we've got the 4 moves that we've already talked about, which are Crunch, Liquidation, Psychic Fangs, and Ice Punch. And then he's got some additional moves. He has Sword Dance, Earthquake, and Dragon Dance. Okay, he's basically going to use. We're down here right now. There we go. Now you can see the mouse. So we're down here at the bottom where we're actually going through this stuff. So shield activation goes up at either 75% HP or 75% time, either way. But the big one is right out of the gate, turn 1 or turn 0. Before you get to do anything, he is going to use Sword Dance. All right, so he's going to immediately boost his attack +2. We'll talk about it in a second here, how to counter that easily. And you actually don't even have to do anything. So trust me, stick around. He's going to steal one of your Tera Orb charges, like they always do, but I really like the fact that he steals it at 95% time. So he's pretty much going to do it before you really even get to start doing any attacks. So what does that do for us? That allows us to basically do turn 1, we can do a buff, we can do a debuff, or we can just wait for 5% of the time and then jump into the actual fight from there. Either way, really like that being up front. He is going to reset our stats and his stats, just our stats. He's going to reset our stat at 80% HP, and then he's going to set his stats at 65% HP. Neither of these are a real big deal breaker, and they really don't even matter with any of my builds. You'll see that when we go through the actual showcases. Other than that, Earthquake at 70% time, and then the very last thing he does is at 50% HP. He will use Dragon Dance, boosting his attack and his speed 1 stat point. Again, at that point, it really doesn't matter. As long as you do follow my guides, follow one of those showcases, and understand how the setup works, this is a non-thing. So let's get over to the YouTube box at the back in the game and actually talk about what are good options, what the showcases are going to be, and what NPCs you're going to want in your party. All right, so here we go. We are in the YouTube box, where all the fun happens, because it's YouTube video. Okay, so for our Feraligatr, here he is. Oops, sorry. Just so you know, this is the Mightiest Mark version to prove it. All right. Already talked about his moves, already talked about his stats. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to do a Koraidon build. Works really, really well. Going to do a Slitherwing build. Works extremely well. And then an Iron Hands build, of course. If it's a Dark type and it's weak to fighting, odds are there's going to be a way for an Iron Hands to win. We'll do that one. And then one of my favorites by far, Magearna. We've done this in a lot of videos. She has an absolutely amazing ability. So definitely check out that showcase and understand how that build works and what you want to do if you do have a Magearna in your game. Other than that, the NPCs, so that is these guys at the bottom, the ones that you could get in your party. By the way, check out that video reference down in the related videos on how to lock your NPC party. I've already locked mine with one Intimidate NPC. It is going to have Star Raptor. The other two you could get in your party are Tauros and Arcanine. All three of these have that Intimidate ability, which drops the opposing Pokemon's attack stat one time every single time they enter the battle. And they get knocked out a lot in these 7-star raids because 7-star raid bosses are strong. So this immediately will control his attack boost from the Sword Dance. It's going to control it from the Dragon Dance. Those are the only two things he buffs. From there, it's a piece of cake. Trust me. Get one of these in your party. It's going to make your life a lot easier. And then I do not have a healer for this one. If you do want to have a healer, get Arbolivia or Gardevoir. That puts up Grassy Terrain and Life Dew from Gardevoir. Both phenomenal to have in a solo build setup. That's pretty much it. Really, the only thing I'm going to recommend is one of the Intimidate NPCs, but even then, it's not fully a requirement for this fight, just because of how easy it is. So let's get over to the showcases, show you exactly how these are done. Check out one or all 4 of them. And as always, I want to know what other builds you guys are using to actually solo this thing and what works well. Hey, and hit that like button. Hit the sub button if you've not. See you in the next one.